Capitol Hill today, 3 governors, Tim Walz, Kathy Hochul, Jabba the Hutt, J.B. Pritzker. They all have many things in common. One of them is that they're all Democrats. Another thing is their states are falling apart and disaster areas. Another thing is all of them are rumored to want to run for president in 2028. And all of them took heavy fire from the Republican members of the House of Representatives on the committee they were testifying. We're going to get to that, especially the showdown between Kathy Hochul and Congresswoman Elise Stefanik, who is rumored to be a potential candidate for governor to run against Kathy Hochul in 28. You're going to want to see that. It's huge. But first, here's Congressman Stephen Lynch from Massachusetts calling ICE agents, federal law enforcement officers, calling them Nazis.
I'm proud of my Democratic colleagues who are willing to stand up to this thuggery. Trump is a wannabe gangster, and he's showing the world what he's about. And I'm proud. You know, my dad served in the Second World War. He fought the Nazis in Northern Africa. He fought the Nazis on the Italian Peninsula. And I think he's looking down right now and he's happy that I'm fighting today's Nazis. He's proud of that. We all should be. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Guys, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. It's over. This is a game changer. We are so screwed now. Popularity polls are going to start plummeting. Republicans are going to lose elections left and right. I don't think we're going to be able to hold the White House again for like 20 years. It's going to be a generational shift. I mean, they're calling us Nazis, guys. We are so fucked. Oh, wait, they've been calling us Nazis for a decade. Actually, they've been calling us Nazis for several decades. Google George W. Bush and Hitler and see what comes up. There's nothing new here. It's all they've got. And it doesn't work. Hey, Congressman, you should have tried calling Trump a Nazi before the election. I'm sure that would have worked. I'm sure you would have won. Oh, that's right. You did. It's all you've got. It's all you've ever had. And it doesn't work. We don't hear it anymore. It just washes over us at this point. But it's good to know, at least, that it's not just calling Trump Hitler. At least he's actually validating what I've been telling you for years now, that every time they call Trump Hitler, what they're really doing is calling you a Nazi. Because who votes for Hitler? Nazis do. Who supports Hitler? Nazis do. Who likes Hitler? Nazis do. You're a Nazi. At least he's saying it. At least he's saying it. But then things turned amazing. Governor Kathy Hochul of New York, under questioning from New York Congresswoman Elise Stefanik. Watch every bit of this.
Thank you. Governor Hochul, on your first day in office, you signed Executive Order 1. Is that correct?
I believe it is.
And you extended this executive order not once, not twice, but 3 times, most recently January 16th of this year. Is that correct?
If that's what your facts show, I signed countless executive orders.
I would assume you'd know it's
laws.
Executive Order 1. And this is a continuation of your predecessor's sanctuary state policies, correct? Is included in that.
I want to be sure we are defining sanctuary state properly.
I'll define it for you. It is the policy of the state that state officers or employees shall not disclose information to federal immigration authorities for the purpose of federal civil immigration enforcement. It goes on to say law enforcement officers may not use resources, equipment, or personnel for the purpose of detecting and apprehending any individual suspected or wanted for violating a civil immigration office. Law enforcement officers have no authority in the state of New York to take any policy action solely because the person is an undocumented alien. That's a quote in your executive orders that you extended. Now, do you know who Sakir Akan is?
I want to get back to the first part.
No, I'm asking a question. Do you know who Sakir Akan is?
I want to make sure you understand that this simply says that we will cooperate with ICE.
No, it does not say that. I read what it says, and let me talk to you about the results. Do you know who Sakir Akan is? You should, as the governor of New York State. Do you know?
Refresh my recollection.
He was an illegal migrant in New York. And do you know what crime he committed in addition to being here illegally?
No, I do not.
You do not. This was widely reported. He found a 15-year-old girl, threatened her with a metal pole, told her to get into the back seat of his car, he took her clothes off, and he violently raped her in Albany, New York. Do you know who Sebastian Zepeda Khalil is?
I'm sure you'll tell me there's many cases, whether they're
These are
here-
high-profile cases.
Yes.
New Yorkers know about them, and you don't. So let's talk about Sebastian Zepeda Khalil. Do you know who that is?
I don't have the specific details at my disposal, no.
Well, this is an illegal migrant in New York because of your sanctuary state policies. Do you know what crime he committed?
I'm not familiar at this moment.
I bet you're going to be familiar when I remind you. He found a sleeping woman on the subway, lit her on fire, and burned her alive. This is in Kathy Hochul's New York. And as I'm sure you are aware, and I'll remind you, that ICE issued an order to detain this violent criminal, but that was rejected by New York officials due to sanctuary state laws. Now, do you know who Raymond Rojas Basilio is?
I gotta jump in here because this is so beautiful and so amazing, and it's electrifying to see the disparity between these two people, especially on the split screen, as you're seeing it right here. Not everybody was able to see it in this fashion. You either just had the camera mostly on Elise Stefanik. Seeing Kathy Hochul react in real time, seeing her swallow the bile that's coming up in the back of her throat as she realizes that her political career is disintegrating before the eyes of the viewing public is something incredible to behold. There was a moment there about a minute later as Elise Stefanik started naming these names when Kathy Hochul realized there is no good answer to this. There is no defense because it's indefensible. There is nothing that she can say to stop the carnage that she is about to experience. So she sort of closed her eyes and took a swallow and just realized, all right, go ahead, do it to me. Say it. Because there is no defense for this. Elise Stefanik, this is why she's so good. She's doing it now with Kathy Hochul, and we'll finish it in a second. She also did this with the presidents of Harvard and Columbia and University of Pennsylvania. You'll remember the presidents of those institutions had to resign in shame because Kathy Hochul called them out in this very committee room about their acquiescence to violent anti-Semitism on their campus. She got those academics to haughtily, preen and peacock and say, well, it really depends on the definition of anti-Semitism. And, I personally don't like these things, but we're a free speech campus. And you remember that. Kathy Hochul just kind of ripped their throats out. And they're all on the unemployment line right now. This is also, I said Kathy Hochul, I meant Elise Stefanik. This is also the same Elise Stefanik when she was a young freshman congresswoman from New York in 2017. And she had then FBI Director James Comey sitting in front of her. She was on the Intelligence Committee. And she revealed that James Comey had initiated the spying campaign, the spying Crossfire Hurricane investigation into the Trump campaign and the Trump presidency, including FISA warrants. And he never revealed it to the Gang of Eight on Capitol Hill. The Gang of Eight is the majority and minority leader in the Senate, the chairman and ranking member in the Intelligence Committee, and then in the House, the Speaker of the House, the minority leader, and then the chairman and ranking member on the Intel Committee. It's 8 members of Congress. And when the FBI starts investigating and starts a search warrant and a spy FISA warrant on people in the United States of America, it's his obligation to inform those 8 members of Congress that he's doing it. The one time James Comey that we know of didn't do it was when the investigation was for the Trump campaign in 2016 before Election Day. And it was Elise Stefanik, freshman congresswoman, who revealed that. This is what's so great about her. And what you're seeing right here, this side by side, this will be the same image on a soundstage in New York in the late summer, early fall of 2028 as Elise Stefanik runs for governor against Kathy Hochul. I guarantee you that's going to happen, and I'll prove it in about 2 minutes, right after we watch the rest of this clip.
I just want to say this. These crimes are horrific.
Because of
condemn
your
them,
because of
and I
your
would say
sanctuary state policies.
In all of these cases, we would work with ICE to remove
You
them.
did not in this case. They are
They need
walking
our
on the
assistance.
streets because of your policies and your executive order that you signed 3 times. Now, Raymond Rojas Basilio, do you know who that is?
I'm telling you this. I will
You don't know
explain to
who
you
it
the
is.
policies of New York. We cooperate with, I know you're just
You do
trying
not.
to.
You do not. Specifically,
Miss-
ICE was told not to detain this individual, and he burned a woman alive on the New York subways in Kathy Hochul's New York. So I will keep on going. What about Raymond Rojas Basilio? Do you know who that is?
I'm going to tell you our overall policy, which will address all this.
I'll tell
We
you
do
who
not-
that is. He is an illegal who molested an 11-year-old in our state because, again, of your sanctuary state policies. This illegal was shielded from federal immigration enforcement and able to commit this heinous crime. And what about Wilson Castillo Diaz? Do you know who that
I'm
is?
telling you this. We do cooperate fully with ICE in criminal prosecution. Our sanctuary
You're not advocating for
regulations
these victims.
only deal
This
with
is a
civil
5-year-old who
enforcement.
was raped
Civil
on Long
enforcement.
Island in Nassau County. You are not advocating on behalf of these victims. You are shielding illegals. Even in your opening statement,
That is
you
not true.
prioritize putting illegals first.
That is not
Rapes
true.
of young girls, beatings of NYPD cops by illegals who are here under Kathy Hochul's failed policies, burning New Yorkers alive. This is Kathy Hochul's New York. It's one of the many reasons why you're hemorrhaging support from hardworking New York
These are
families.
horrific crimes, and they're
They're
heartbreaking.
horrific crimes that are committed on your watch. You signed this executive order on your first day in office. You signed it again and again this January. We deserve a governor who stands up for law-abiding New Yorkers, doesn't put illegals first, but actually puts New Yorkers first. I appreciate
Rather than
the
going
chairman's
after the viral moment, I suggest you
no,
look
no,
at the
no.
facts.
I'm standing up for New Yorkers.
No.
Rather than addressing the illegals in New York, you are prioritizing your far-left sanctuary state policies, which you put in place with executive orders. Instead of advocating for
cooperate
victims,
in all
a
those
5-year-old
cases.
who
We
was raped,
cooperate with ICE.
you did not. They were released
We
because
cooperate
of
with
sanctuary
ICE.
state
We
policies in New
cooperate
York
with
State.
law
No
enforcement.
amount of words is going to clean up your failed record and these horrific crimes committed in sanctuary state that you created. And with that, I
Your
yield back.
representation, the facts are
Gentlelady,
absolutely false.
yields back.
Absolutely
Chair
false.
recognizes Ms. Norton.
Wow. Wow. Can I vote for her today? Can I do it? Can I move to New York to vote for her today? That was fire. That was brilliant. That was perfect. Let me tell you something. I know y'all think New York is a lost cause and New York is Democrat and it's blue, blue, blue. And yesterday I even said that I think if things continue the way they're going and Gavin Newsom continues to fumble and sputter the way he's doing, that California could very well be in play. New York is 100% in play. Lee Zeldin, who's now your EPA administrator, he came this close to beating Kathy Hochul. Now the people of New York have had 4 years of disaster under Kathy Hochul. At the time, she had only been governor for like 9 months or 10 months because she replaced Andrew Cuomo after she worked behind the scenes to get rid of him. He had to resign. She stepped in and then she ran. Let's give her a chance. Lee Zeldin almost beat her. Now, after 4 years of Kathy Hochul, she is ready to go. The New Yorkers are ready to get rid of her, and they need someone like that. Let me tell you something. I used to work in New York. I have a lot of friends in New York. A lot of them are Democrats. Most of them are Democrats. They come out of the factory with that setting, out of the cardboard box from the factory. That's their factory setting. They're New Yorkers, so they're Democrats. That's just the way it is. But right there, Kathy Hochul had a choice. Kathy Hochul could either do what she did, which is these are just horrific crimes, and we really feel compassion for the victims. It's terrible, and we cooperate with ICE. We cooperate with ICE, which is a lie, of course, because Elise Stefanik set this up brilliantly by beginning with Executive Order 1, which specifically mandated that law enforcement and other agencies do not cooperate with ICE. If they cooperated with ICE, none of those crimes would have happened, because when they had these criminals in custody, they would have handed them over to ICE. So everyone already knows that she's lying. But that doesn't matter. See, if you don't have the facts on your side, if you're a New Yorker, you can just start pounding the table and bluster. And that's what she should have done. That's what New Yorkers would have respected. New Yorkers would have appreciated that. Instead, all we got was Elise Stefanik laying out the facts with passion, with anger, with emotion, and getting right in Kathy Hochul's face. And if you're a New Yorker, that's what you like. Kathy Hochul could have said, "How dare you? No, I'm talking now. You asked me here. I came down from Albany. I'm sitting here and I'm going to answer the question. Of course I hate those criminals. Of course I want to throw away the key. I want to give them the electric chair. Let me tell you what I've done to stop this from happening. You don't have all the facts, and I'll tell you the facts. This is what I did." But she didn't do that. She couldn't do that because she doesn't feel that way. And she couldn't sit there and start yelling back and say, "I'll tell you exactly what I did to stop these crimes from happening," because she didn't do anything. And that's the biggest problem of all. And she is toast. It's over. I told you Elise Stefanik is running for governor, and she'll probably win. How do I know that? Well, saw this article in The Hill yesterday. It was going around social media, saw it on X. As you can see, Democrats could lose New York in 2026 thanks to Kathy Hochul, basically laying out the fact that Kathy Hochul is the most vulnerable incumbent Democrat in this next election cycle of all of the governors. And the way the math works and the way the numbers work in New York, she could very well lose this election. That was before what you saw today. How can I guarantee that Elise Stefanik is running? Couple things. First of all, she's great. And after today's performance, she's going to have a whole lot of encouragement from her peers to run and be the nominee for the Republicans. That's number one. Number two, you may remember that she was on the short list to be Donald Trump's running mate. She didn't get it, but Trump loves her, and Trump nominated her to be the ambassador for the United States to the United Nations. Now, she had to withdraw her nomination because the margins in the House of Representatives are so tight that they couldn't lose her, not with some of the important votes that are coming with reconciliation and some of the other votes that we've already had in the House of Representatives that have been razor thin. They needed her, and she had to withdraw her nomination. What does that mean? That means she's a team player. She took one for the team. And both Speaker of the House Mike Johnson and President Donald Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance owe her big time. You have that kind of power and money-raising capability and organizing capability behind you going into a governor's race. I mean, 80% of your job is done. Don't forget, J.D. Vance is going to be in charge of the RNC's midterm election campaign contribution protocols. He's sort of the treasurer for the midterm campaigns coming up. He will be able to distribute campaign funds. And the Trump administration owes Elise Stefanik for withdrawing her name for consideration for that ambassador job. Those are pretty good chits to call in. There's one more reason why I'm pretty sure Elise Stefanik is going to run against Kathy Hochul, other than the two I've already given you. And that's this. The article in question here from The Hill, I said it was making its way around on X. People were promoting it. Specifically, it was Elise Stefanik who promoted it. She herself posted this on X and pulled out the quote, Hochul appears to be one of the most politically vulnerable governors in the country. Her weakness offers Republicans an opportunity. If the GOP can field a credible, well-funded candidate in 26, particularly one who can energize the Republican base, speak to concerns about crime and affordability, and exploit Democrat dissatisfaction with Hochul, the party could make a real play for the governorship. That's what Elise Stefanik herself pulled out and promoted when posting this. Yeah, I think it's fair to say that she's running. And after today's performance, she's winning. One other great moment today on Capitol Hill. This is Representative Brandon Gill, who is a real up-and-comer, freshman out of Texas. He's been brilliant in these hearings. Here he is squaring off on transgender bathroom policies with Jabba the Hutt Pritzker.
Mr. Governor, do you think that biological men should be able to use women's restrooms?
I'm not sure how this has to do with immigration.
It's just a yes or no question.
Why are you
It's very easy to
politicizing
answer.
this?
Do you
I
think
thought
that
we were
men
here
should be using
doing
women's
fact
restrooms?
finding. I'm sorry?
Do you think men should be allowed in women's restrooms?
I'm not sure why this has come to this
You
issue. It has
tweeted
nothing
that
to do
as
with
a
immigration.
protest against President Trump, everyone should use the other gender's bathroom today. Have you ever used the women's restroom?
Not that I can recall ever, sir. No.
You wanted everybody else to do it, but you didn't?
Sir, I'm not sure why we're on a topic that has
I'm
nothing to
asking
do
you,
with
you're
today's hearing.
advocating for men to use women's restrooms, but you didn't do it?
I do not advocate that, no.
Well, actually, you did. You said everyone should use the other gender's bathroom today.
I can tell you that you are
Do you regret saying
politicizing this
this?
in a way that what we ought to be focusing on is
Do you
the
regret
failure of the federal
encouraging men to
government
use women's restrooms?
and the Congress to deal with immigration reform.
Do you regret encouraging men to use women's restrooms?
Again, you're taking us on topics that have.
Did you ever
nothing to
consider
do
that
with
women don't
the
want you in
subject
their-
that you
in their
invited us here
bathrooms?
for? So you're
Here.
I think that might be my favorite part. Governor Pritzker, considering you're 400 pounds and hardly kind of guy that most women would like to see emerging from a bathroom stall. Has it ever occurred to you that women would rather you not use their restrooms? Imagine the smell. That's great stuff. Good stuff on Capitol Hill today, and especially from Elise Stefanik. Fantastic. We got a good bench. If you're a Republican, you're feeling pretty good right now. I know I am.